The Toronto Blue Jays have signed John Schneider to a 3-year extension, meaning that the question is finally over regarding who their manager is going to be. So we can put that question to rest. Furthermore, we have a Lourdes Gurriel Jr. update and also a little tidbit on Canadian baseball. So we're going to break all that down and much more in this episode of Jays Digest. What's up, Jays fans? Nick Gosse here, host of Jays Digest. Peter's not going to be with us today as he is in school, and we had to get this news out quickly. If you saw our video yesterday, we kind of had a few minutes of talking about this, and we kind of, reported, or we talked about a report that brought up the fact that John Schneider was going to be getting a 3-year extension today, but it wasn't from a super reputable source, so we weren't able to fully confirm. But this came out just a couple hours ago that it's official. We've agreed to terms with John Schneider on a 3-year contract as manager with a team option for the 2026 season. So first of all, that's great. We're both me and Peter are both advocates for John Schneider, and obviously he had a couple of hiccups in the postseason. He managed the bullpen. Some people would say he managed it questionably, but at the end of the day, the players wanted him back. Front office wanted him back. They spoke nothing but good things about him, and he's really he's a step up from Charlie Montoyo, and I don't think there was a better option out there. Obviously, we talked about Kevin Long a little bit in previous videos, but, John Schneider, he grew up, the players grew up with John Schneider. A lot of them are core, Bo, Vladdy, Kevin, I think Lourdes a bit as well. So, the players wanted him back. Matt Chapman said at the end of the wild card loss that, we want Schneider back. He did great. He's a great manager. And so you the writing was kind of on the wall there, along with the Shai Davidi report that we did break down in yesterday's video. About, if you do want to go check it out, we broke down other things as well, but the John Schneider report was in that video as well. But Shai Davidi broke it down, that he's saying that basically he's pretty confident the Jays were going to re-sign Schneider, which of course they did. And obviously the players, that's the big thing, right? Is that the players are happy with him as manager. And obviously you need a mix of a player's manager and a manager's manager who isn't really the friendliest. And I've seen lots of comments saying John Schneider is too friendly, he allows too much, horsing around in the dugout and all that. But in this day and age, you kind of want someone who has a good relationship with the players, and that is something that John Schneider most definitely has. Charlie Montoyo had it as well, but to a different degree. He didn't get the respect that John Schneider has. John Schneider commands a level of respect, and he, it's a mix of the two best things that you want in a manager, which is, player control and player friendliness. So I'm happy with the extension. You can also see here that Kevin Gausman quote tweeted and said, "Happy to have Shines back." Now, obviously, John Schneider was the one who pulled Kevin Gausman in Game 2 of the wild card series, and a lot of people were having questions about whether Kevin Gausman was upset or about the decision. And clearly, there's no ill will. We kind of knew that anyways, but Schneider's happy to have him back. And again, it just goes to show that the players really do respect John Schneider, and they want him on the team. And they just want him. They want him a part of the future for hopefully when we win a World Series. So that's it's a good little extension, not a bad deal at all. You can't really complain. The team option's really nice for 2026. 3 years isn't too bad of a term. I know I would have preferred maybe a 1 or 2 year, but obviously John Schneider probably wouldn't have done that. So we get the team option, we get the 3 years, and he has the window now. The front office needs to make moves, bolster the bullpen. We've talked about that plenty, but they need to make moves. And John Schneider, they believe he's the guy who will take him to the World Series and hopefully win one. And I don't doubt it. I think that he is a good enough manager to do that. It is just a matter of if we have the team to do it and how he hopefully handles the bullpen in the coming playoffs this year. But yeah, it finally came out. So the question is over regarding who their manager is going to be. So we can finally move on from that question and move into other things. But yeah, that's good. Let's move into the next topic now, which is a Lourdes Gurriel Jr. injury update. So obviously Lourdes Gurriel Jr. was injured during the playoffs this past coming year, or I guess the last season, even though the season's still technically going on. And people were having tons of questions about what's wrong with him. Is he healthy? Because originally, John Schneider, the front office, were saying that he's going to be ready for the end of the regular season this past coming year to in the last series against the Orioles to get him prepared for the wild card series. And we could have used him in the wild card series, both defensively and offensively. And obviously, he's not the best fielder, but he has a cannon of an arm that would have been useful in a couple plays there. But He obviously didn't end up being healthy for the end of the regular season, and then he wasn't even named to the wildcard roster. So obviously they said that he would be available if we went to the ALDS, but that didn't happen. So it didn't really matter. But because people were wondering what is the extent of Lourdes Gurriel Jr.'s injury, and they were getting concerned, and we've been a bit concerned about it because obviously he is a key player. Whether he's a part of the future or not remains to be seen. They might package him for a pitcher, but he's kind of the heart of the team to a degree. So I don't know how comfortable they are trading him. But you know, I'll just show you guys the report real quick. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. underwent surgery on his left wrist today to alleviate an issue he dealt with during the season, the Blue Jays say, adding that he's expected to be ready for spring training. Now, that is the key. He is expected to be ready for spring training. So, obviously, that's good news. Very good news. He won't be out any longer than what he already has been. I guess some people were speculating. I saw a few people on Reddit and stuff like that saying, like, will he be ready? Is it a long-term injury? Obviously, George Springer recovered that injury a few days ago, and he's also getting surgery done to hopefully alleviate it. So hopefully all these long-term issues, with Springer and for Lourdes, there's like a short-term issue, will be completely fixed for the start of the regular season, and that he'll be ready to, go out there and compete, because we really missed him towards the end of the year last year into the playoffs, and he's a key part of the core, and at the very least, he's a good trade asset if the Jays decide to go that way. But he has to be healthy in order to do that. So it's good to see that he will be ready for spring training because, again, we've talked about we want to get a new outfielder, hopefully a left-handed bat, but if we don't, we need Lourdes Gurriel, and realistically, they're probably going to keep Gurriel in left field and maybe move Teo or someone else. But we're not going to get into that this video. But Lourdes just brings, obviously he brings the energy, the passion. He has a great arm. Obviously his routes are a bit not great at times, but he has a great arm, and he's had a great year last year. Obviously his power's dwindled a little bit, but he still hit really well. He had a solid year, and he was starting to, we could have used his bat. It really lengthens the lineup if we have him instead of like Raimel Tapia, for example. Obviously, shout out to Tapia. He had a pretty good year, but having Lourdes is just a much more potent bat and a better defender. So kind of just, you need him in a playoff lineup, and it hurt us not having him in it. Now, did it cost us a series? Probably not, because, there was other flaws with the team, like the bullpen that we mentioned before, but having Lourdes there is just something that the team really, really needed, and unfortunately, we didn't have him, but he'll be back for next season fully healthy. Getting into the final topic here, this is just a little tidbit that I saw. It is about Canada baseball. So Hazel May, obviously, is covering the Yankees, the ALCS. Astros currently up 2-0, but she tweeted out this piece of news here. Hazel May. So she interviewed Jameson Taillon, and Jameson Taillon said he's on the fence about pitching for Team Canada at the upcoming World Baseball Classic. He's going to be a free agent this winter and may need time to get to know a new team, but absolutely wants to if everything works out. Loved his pitching time, or time pitching for Canada at the 2013. So now there's two things here. The first thing is, obviously, we would love to have him on the Canada baseball team. He's a solid pitcher, a solid 4 or 5 rotation arm, and obviously anyone we can get for Team Canada is open to do it, and hopefully he's able to sort out his free agency and maybe join Team Canada and help them. So that's a good thing for Canada baseball. And there's also, I'll pop it up one more time here. He said, he's going to be a free agent this winter and may need some time to get to know a new team. Now, the Jays need some starting pitching. Now, would Jameson Taillon be their main target? Absolutely not. We're looking for someone a bit better, a bit, more of a 1-2, 2-3 pitcher. He's more of a 4-5. But if we could get him let's say we don't re-sign Ross Stripling and we get Jameson Taillon as a replacement, I'm not super upset. I would rather them keep Ross Stripling, but Jameson Taillon could be a potential, could be on the radar of the Blue Jays. Being Canadian and all, could be on the radar of the Blue Jays for this offseason. So it's something to keep an eye on, but obviously we'll get into more detail about that if it starts to come to fruition a little bit there. But as of right now, I don't think it's going to come to fruition anytime soon, but it is very cool that he, hopefully we get him on the Canadian baseball team so we can have our team looking even deeper. And, he's a very good pitcher. He has been for many years. He had a couple rough years there in Pittsburgh, but he's finally back to himself, and hopefully we can have him on the Canadian baseball team. So that was kind of a cool little tidbit I saw. And yeah, that's going to wrap up the news. Lots of news over the past few days, mainly the John Schneider thing. I wanted to get this video out early, and we are on the road to 1K subs. So if you're watching now, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We're almost at 500 subs. So we're close to 400 as well, but we're almost at 500, which would be the halfway mark. So the support's been great. Keep leaving comments, keep having discussions. We read every comment and we try to respond to as many as we can. So keep it up, like the video if you did enjoy, and we'll see you guys in tomorrow's video with Peter. Will be back for that one. So take it easy, guys.